Have you noticed how many help wanted signs there are all over the place? People just don't seem to want to work these days. I'm telling you, the youth of today, we're all doomed. But is it really quite what it seems? Are things actually that bad? My name is Ian Currey and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Growing up in the southeast corner of England, when that part of the country was still well known for mining coal, it was expected that once you finished with school, you'd go and work down the mines. The smarter students might go on to study robotics or automation, or perhaps electrical engineering, but nonetheless, down the pit you'd go. Once down there, you could expect to work all of your working life and then eventually retire in the same mining village while your sons took over from you in the mine. I was one of the few that didn't follow that course. I took an apprenticeship with an electronic engineering company and eventually ended up working on some interesting media and TV projects. Ooh, fun. One big difference I noticed between my work and that of my former schoolmates was that I loved my job and enjoyed every minute of it, while they seemed to only talk about how much more money they were making by being on the coalface instead of up top. Job satisfaction is, of course, a hugely important aspect of our lives, isn't it? But is that it? Is that why people don't want to work? They're dissatisfied with the work they do or the jobs available? I think there might be a little bit more to this than just that, don't you? With the various jobs I've had over my working life, I've found that when I believe in what I'm doing, I've bought into the cause, as it were, then I'm far more likely to be working when everyone else is gone, helping out others so that the whole team succeeds, and generally looking for ways to make things better. Working for a major airline wasn't something I ever expected to be doing, but now that I am, I'm able to give it my all because I really enjoy what I do and I feel like I'm making a difference. I love the way the airline is run and thoroughly enjoy seeing crew get it as I work day to day, training them to do their jobs. Once we find a role we can own and invest in, job satisfaction takes over from the desire to just make money, doesn't it? One big thing I've enjoyed with the job I have is a flexible schedule. I can spend time at home thinking or walking the dog, playing with the trains, or perhaps making these videos, and not have to work all the time. Flexibility and variety are important to me. How about you? What are the things that make you want to get out of bed in the morning and go to work? Many of my friends have had the opportunity to take a look at life and the all-important work-life balance. While my friends may be very hard workers and enjoy their jobs, they also see the value of spending time with family, with nature, or alone reading a good book or something. Recently, I reread the Sermon on the Mount. That's a famous speech that Jesus gave, and you can find it recorded by Matthew in the New Testament. It goes over several pages, and if you ever read it, you'll find all sorts of things that you somehow recognize that have got into our culture and ways of doing things. right in the middle, there is a chunk that talks about storing treasure. Now, a good retirement saving account is a marvelous idea, but this is more talking about our life focus. What's really important to us? Don't store up treasures here on earth where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasure in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desire of your heart will also be. A good example of this might be our families. I find it very interesting to hear neighbors tell me their families are the most important thing to them. But then I watch as they seem never to be around them. In the next couple of sentences, Jesus talks about what the focus of our life is and how important it is to make sure our eyes are on the right thing. And then goes on to say, that is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing? Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to Him than they are? Can all of your worries add a single moment to your life? So not only a call for clear life focus, but don't spend all that time worrying about things either. But I have to work to provide for my family. Seek the kingdom of God above all else, and He will give you everything you need. Far easier said than done, no doubt. The thing that becomes our main focus will give the rewards that that thing can give. Working hard at a job will likely be rewarded by promotion and extra income. If a healthy family environment is your focus, then the love those relationships can give will be your reward. Really, what Jesus is saying, right in the middle of his speech, is that if you focus on Him, and as he puts it, the kingdom of God, then the rewards that come from that are all that God can offer. Immeasurable. I'm not saying that the youth of today have all gone on a God quest, seeking spiritual enlightenment and waiting for God to give them everything. No. But it is worth noting that perhaps people are taking a long, hard look at what we, the older generation, have demonstrated is important by working all hours and never seriously pursuing what we say is important to us. Could it be that the youth of today actually have something important to teach us all? Perhaps. What really is important to you? Most of us would list family very close to the top of that list, I'm sure. What about work? Is that on the list? How about investing in others? Enjoying what God has already given us? Are those things on your list? Now, how much time and effort do you spend on the things that you've put on your list? If someone watching you were to make a list for you based on what they saw, could they guess accurately what was on your list? No? It's an interesting question, isn't it? I remember those mines around the Kent coalfield for the way they provided work for so many hard-working miners. But at the same time, I remember them for how so many lives were cut short from lung disease, from the coal dust, and accidents that happened way underground. I wonder if I asked the men that worked there all those years ago if they were glad the extra time they now have with their families and loved ones, because the minds are closed, what they'd say. Would they say, "Oh, the youth of today, they don't know the meaning of work"? Or would they secretly be glad that their sons and daughters have decided to take a good look at what is really important? I think Jesus may well have had it right all those years ago, don't you? So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Learning to enjoy the little things in life without having to have all that clutter. Taking time to appreciate what we already have and what God has made available to us may perhaps change how we view some of those help wanted signs. Until next time, goodbye.